Hey, what's up? And welcome to the Christmas episode of the Nerd Hour Podcast. Yes.
Merry Christmas. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are having a good day, night, whatever time it is you listen to this.
Yeah, so
Mm.
at the time of this recording, Christmas hasn't started yet. It is the 22nd, but I think Christmas is on Tuesday, and this is going to come out
Right
on
around the corner.
Wednesday.
I think
So,
it's on Wednesday.
yeah. No, it's Tuesday, the
Is
25th,
it?
right?
Damn, I gotta leave the house tomorrow.
Oh, no, the 25th is Wednesday. 25th is Wednesday.
Okay.
So
I was
this
about
will
to
come
say
out
like,
on Christmas. So, yay.
Merry Christmas. I hope you guys get presents. Cause
And
I'm
I
too
always
broke to
save
buy
this at the
myself
end of
some.
the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say at the very beginning, thank you to Chief Takinawa for the intro songs.
Oh yeah.
And if you're watching this on
Did you see the
YouTube,
post?
because I've been recently looking at our views on YouTube, we get
Mm.
way more views on YouTube than we get on any other listening platform.
Really?
Yeah. So primarily most of our plays from the listening platform might just be me on Spotify. Me or you. But
Mm.
so if you're watching on YouTube, we're on Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, and Castbox. So if you at work, jogging, gym, whatever, you want to listen to
Cause
us, you can go over
YouTube
there.
don't let you listen with the phone screen off unless you pay
Exactly.
that
It's
little
annoying as
subscription.
hell. And then if you're trying to
Yeah, it
listen to the
is.
music, you can't. It has to be in picture in picture mode. You can't just no,
Yeah,
you can't even have it in picture in picture mode. You have to be in the app to listen to
yeah,
music.
yeah. You can't have it on the side. You can't put it in sleep. You gotta like burn your battery throughout your workout. Could have been saving that battery life.
Yeah, it's dumb.
So be sure to slide over to those other platforms and give us a listen. I mean,
Right. So,
yeah.
there's I wanted to, since this is very close to Christmas. I don't know if you I see you got this the DualShock 4 controller on here. Did you want to talk about it? And did
Dude,
you have any
I
other?
want to talk how retarded and gimmicky it looks. There's already so many freaking like you got the Elite controller, you got Scuff, you got all this other stuff, and they're like, "What can we do?" You know what? Gamers like screens. You know what gamers like the most too? Gamers like to turn their controllers around to be able to see said screen. They got this weird controller, and it looks like the screen's like on the back end of it, and it's like it has. You know what?
Yeah,
It's
programmable
$30.
button. It's all it is like the Elite controller for PS4. It's just programmable buttons.
Yeah, but
It just looks
the big
weird.
difference is on the back it has an OLED display.
Yeah, it still just looks weird.
It does look hella weird, but like when I look at it, I'm like, you know what? It's like $30.
Well, the only
You know
cool
what I mean?
thing
I guess you can get away with that.
the only cool thing about it is the fact that you could set multiple profiles to that controller. So if
Oh
you only
yeah,
have one controller, and I'm like, all right, I'm done playing this, swipe it over to your profile, and you can have the controller or something like that. I think that's cool.
yeah.
It
Like you mean
doesn't.
like sign-ins or profiles? Because I'm thinking profiles as in like macro profiles, like one for
It's
Monster
macro
Hunter and then one
profiles.
having one for FPS.
Well, no. It's
Okay.
more like I mean, I assume you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the Elite controller. But when they were announcing this, I took it as like you remember when we were in Tampa and then we had to wait forever for somebody to like make their own character and then have that
Mm-hmm.
the
Mortal
moves
Kombat.
match up to how they play. This is
Yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to eliminate that.
So you
So
just bring their okay. That's dope.
yeah.
That's dope. It's like
So
bringing their whole
if
freaking
I'm
player
playing
profile.
MK and then I don't want to play anymore, you could just swipe over to your profile for MK and then you're good to go instead of having to reset or create a character based off in a whole different
That's
profile on in game
that's
or
sick.
something.
That's sick. That's sick.
It's
But at the
cool,
same,
still looks weird.
it's also just $30, so I can't really like really dig into them for it. But
hmm
at the same time, I'm like, there's so many other attachments already out there.
hmm
You know, you. Oh, my bad. That was a burp. you really have to. You really got to dial like to like what kind of people is actually gonna buy this. People who already bought one. Are they fanboys? Like, are they really gonna like go off and buy this one if they already have one?
I can see it.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't think
So,
it's the same reason. That's the same mentality that the the Elite controller had. Everybody already had a
mhm.
Scuff controller. Why would they buy the Elite controller? Well, because the Elite controller is far better than the Scuff controller, and you don't have to have wires and or like dongles attached all
Not
over
this
your
day.
controller.
Not this day and age.
Yeah, but
The
so
scuff controllers go hard nowadays, man.
uh,
So
w-
even till this day, the only reason I went with the Xbox controller because I just aesthetically liked it better. But
mhm.
the scuff controllers look pretty nasty nowadays. You got like interchangeable parts, just like you have with the Elite controller. They really stepped their game up, man.
Let's see. I gotta see what a new one looks like.
Yeah, the
I
scuff
like how I
controllers look
type in
nasty.
Scuff controller. I see Xbox One control, Elite controller. uh,
That.
I mean, because the Scuff controller, at least the one I'm looking at, looks like the Elite controller. It looked like it took the same designs that the Elite had and then just decided to do their own
Mhm.
thing for it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not. I mean, it's not
They
like
didn't
play.
reinvent it.
I mean, they damn sure didn't make it better either. It just looks the same.
Nah, but you get more customization issues when you go with scuff. You know what I mean? How your controller looks. If you wanted to have your name or your butt cheeks like scanned onto the controller itself, you can you can do that. You know what I mean? Your controller has a lot more personality than just buying
Oh,
an Elite
but that's
controller.
not. That wouldn't get me to buy it because I could get my Xbox controller also customized before it
Yeah,
gets to me.
I'm a huge yeah. Microsoft does that, but Scuff has a lot more options. Microsoft
Well,
has like the
You
base
could
stuff.
get it through a different website outside of Microsoft though to get
Yeah,
it customized.
yeah.
So
This
the
Scuff
it's
has a
Scuff.
bigger name though. Honestly, I don't
I
like
don't
put it.
know if
Look, it sounds like I'm just trying to
Scuff
like
has.
pick at
It's like
straws or
you're.
anything, but Scuff's been doing it for years on end. You know, I mean, you can send your controller. Scuff is that website. You can send in your controller, and they
Mhm.
will customize it for you. If you want to get your Elite controller like customized by Scuff, because you don't like Scuff's controller, you like your Elite controller, you can send your stuff over to Scuff.
Mhm.
Scuff has been in the game for like so damn long and whatnot.
Yeah, but that
Just
doesn't.
saying,
It does.
there's
That doesn't even necessarily make them the better controller either, though.
uh, hey man, all I said is they should look good, and
No,
it's
you
been good
at
over
the
the years.
beginning you said it was the better controller,
Mm-mm.
or
We can
they a
rewind.
powerhouse or something like that.
We can rewind. You know, I ain't
Yeah,
say it
we
was a
can
better
rewind it.
controller because
You said
I still got an Elite. I got an Elite controller. I'm staring at it right now.
I you exactly you said I got an elite because it looked more aesthetically pleasing, but the scuff is a powerhouse. That's what you said.
Yeah, man. A lot of people love the Scuffs, man. You know what I mean? They even got the Scuff Elites. I'm out here looking through the website right now.
Yeah,
And I mean, look
I saw
at
the
that
scuff
sexy
DualShock
D
4
pad.
controller, and it looks like a 360 controller. I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
yeah. There's a lot of people who like go play on PlayStation, but they don't like the
the, yeah.
PlayStation layout. So it's like it's the Scuff Vantage too.
Hmm.
Looks just like a freaking Xbox, but it's for PS3, PS4. It's for the PSs. But yeah, it
Speaking of
looks fucking
which,
sick
I
though.
remember
Yeah, yeah.
since we're on Xboxes and PlayStations, um,
Mhm.
so the Xbox Series X when it comes out, it's not going to be called the Series X. It's just going to be called Xbox.
Really?
Yeah, and it
Is it a soft
annoyed.
boot?
No, it's not. It's just like they want everything to be under the Xbox umbrella.
Hmm.
So like when my grandma goes in and it's supposed to make it easier, but in other ways it makes it harder because whoever's selling it to them has to guess which one they're talking about. But
Yeah.
they go into the store and they tell the cashier, "I want the Xbox." Then they grab the Xbox.
They walk home with a 360.
Yeah. That's if they're still selling the 360. But like the person has to be like, well, no, they won't even worry about grabbing the 360. Is like confusing the Xbox with the Xbox One and the original Xbox. If they have the original Xbox on the shelf, which I doubt they would.
Right. They got the S. And they're like, oh my God, he was actually reasonable this Christmas. He actually asked for something that wasn't like $800.
And it's like, oh no, he wanted that one. Yikes! I can see that confusion, but they want to keep it under, just to make it easier as far as branding goes. It's like, hey, what you got? I got the Xbox. You don't have the Xbox 720, the Xbox 5, the Xbox 6. You have the Xbox to make branding easier. And I could get that side, but I can also see where it's going to get confusing.
Of course, it's gonna get fucking confusing. Okay, so you got the Xbox, and then you got the Xbox Series subdivision, and then you have the Xbox Vintage
No,
subdivision.
that's the thing. It's like it's not even going to come with like how this is Series X and there's going to be like the Series Y maybe. It's just going to be Xbox from here on out. Like you don't
How
go up
about
there and
Xbox
you don't go up
Series
there. I
X
want the
for the new
Series
ones?
X, huh?
Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
You don't get it. What's not to
Can
get? Make you
yeah,
put it
like,
under
all
the
right, we
same
got
umbrella.
Xbox. Then
Hmm.
what the hell are they gonna call the new console? Just Xbox?
That's what I'm telling you. It's going to call Xbox.
There's
The
no
console
Xbox
we
2 when they come out with a new one?
no, it's just going to be called Xbox from here on out. Xbox.
I guess parents can just go in the stores and be like, I want the new one.
Yeah. I mean, because like
Like the newest one you got on, like
the
that just
Xbox
came
you
out.
and me both have, it's not called
Yeah.
Xbox. It's called Xbox One. So
Mm,
and then the pro version of it is the One X. So when this
yeah.
one comes
Okay.
out, it's just gonna be called Xbox.
Man, why they gotta change the name so many times, bro? Jesus, man.
It made me appreciate Sony and their numerical naming. It's just like we not like every year, every time there's a new console generation, we don't know what it's gonna be
Yeah.
called, but we know the next one is gonna be called PlayStation 5.
Right, right. I just want to know what
They're
happens
not
when
even gonna
they get
jump
into
off the
those
train.
when they get into double digits.
If
PlayStation
they get into
15,
double digits, as if.
PlayStation 22. Will I be alive with 22?
Who knows? They were trying to make consoles last forever now. Like I can see
Oh, right, right.
The
The
Xbox
lifespan
coming
is
out
probably
is
gonna be
going
a
to
lot
last for the
longer too.
next 15 years, maybe 10, 15.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The tech is just like they gotta up their game on the tech, you know.
Hmm. Well, this
And
is
I guess there's
supposed to
still a
be
space for them.
um, when the
Yeah,
Xbox comes out. They're supposed to be it's supposed to be future proofing so that they don't have to worry about making a console
yeah, yeah,
every 5 years or something like that. So
yeah, yeah.
the
Basically, the
SSD
PCs.
processors and stuff like that.
You know, you know what thought that kind of came to my head a little bit.
But,
Practically Alienware at this point.
yeah. Yeah.
They're literally just a company that's like optimizing and building PCs for people to play games on. It's like these are gaming PCs, but at the end of the day, they're just like any PC that somebody could like put together in their living room. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. I gotta really think about it because these are like extremely optimized hardware and software wise to do
Hmm.
one thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? A PC like what I have is like, yeah, it's okay, it's powerful, but it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like they changed the cooling inside of the PC that I'm using right now specifically to really like work. You know what I mean? A confined box. You get what I'm trying to say here,
yeah,
right? They
yeah,
really like push the freaking physics and geometry of that box, that computer you're getting specifically for playing video games.
yeah.
So you know what I mean? To the point where they're like working with the manufacturers with CPUs and GPUs and whatnot.
For real. I was
Yeah.
I was watching somebody stream and
Hmm.
they were saying how they like they can see why they're going to call it the Xbox, but they can also just like me also admit this is horrible name. Like Project
It is.
Scarlet sounded so much cooler, and if they came out and this one was Xbox Scarlet, that would be dope.
Right? Why the hell
Project
do they
Scarlet
have
was
like the
such a
project
cool
names?
name. I
That's
don't
the
know.
problem. They have project names, right? But they don't have like when this product actually gets out to the market,
Mm.
they don't. They have dope product names ain't even anywhere there.
Dude,
They
the
give them
one
fake product names for the hype, or maybe just so they can
it,
talk
it ha-
about it
it
and
has to be
people
for the
not.
hype. It has to be for the
Oh
hype,
my.
and for the simple fact that if you say the product's name and
Hmm.
without doing your diligence as a company, like registering the domain name, doing this,
Hmm.
get this out, that
Yeah,
out, that out.
that's what I
Like
was
if there
thinking.
was something you forgot about, like you forgot to
Yeah,
patent the name, you did all this, got the website, you forgot to patent the name. Everybody
yeah,
knows
yeah.
that Xbox Series X,
Yeah.
and then boop, trademark the name before you could get it. So I guess that's why they do project
Yeah,
names.
yeah.
But
That's why I understand about like project names and stuff like that. You know, you don't want that to just be all over the internet leaking. If it does leak, you know what I mean? So the
yeah,
original name that you thought for it is what's
uh,
going through the process of being like, you know what I mean? But why are the project names way more fucking cooler than the actual name that the damn thing comes out
it's
with?
it's
Can
it's
we just
definitely for the
swap
hype.
those?
It's definitely for the
Right?
hype.
Right. Can we
Was it?
swap those around a little bit? Hey, let's leave Xbox One to be the product, like you know what I mean, the product, like the project name, and the
Yeah.
bitch comes out as Scarlet.
Was it?
You
You
know
remember
what I
one
mean?
the project name for the One X was Project Scorpio, and I was like,
Right.
ooh,
Yeah.
that sounds
It sounds
ooh.
dope. It sounds like it was like it felt like when that Xbox came out, it felt like it was gonna be like with like freaking 6 feet. It was gonna look like a
Yeah,
fucking scorpion. It's gonna have like a stinger on the back, and it's gonna get up and walk and come back because it was an all-in-one console. I
yeah.
figured it'd be able to get up and get me a beer or two. You know what I was.
But that being said, when next holiday season, when
Yeah, yeah.
the Xbox comes out, um, I'm not gonna get it. Not because I
Hmm.
don't want it, but I also know they have announced that they are going to release a version of the console without the disk
Hmm.
drive, and I'm just going to wait for that one.
You gonna wait for that one?
I'm going to wait for that one because I'm not missing any
Okay.
content. I'm not.
Okay.
The Xbox when it comes out is going to be playing the same games my Xbox One plays,
Yeah, yeah. Don
and I
is
don't have a
all
4K
for the
monitor now anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Don is all for the future right now, my dude.
Dude,
So like,
I
let the
I
disc die.
I
Let the freaking
also
mom and
know
pop stores, trade stores
I
die.
also know when this Xbox comes out, they're gonna
Mhm.
revert back to their crap bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And
What kind of bullshit though? Yeah.
there's probably gonna be the power cord is probably gonna be a giant brick like it used to be, instead
Oh
of
my.
just being a normal
Nah.
cord. So when the
Nah.
so when the next version comes out, they're gonna be like, okay, we did away with the brick. We heard you.
Look. What's gonna happen is it's gonna come. It's gonna look just like the S. There's not gonna be a big ass power brick on it.
I
You
mean,
know what I
if
mean?
it
The
comes
AC
with
to
a normal
DC
power
converter is
outlet,
gonna be there.
it'll be dope. I
Yeah,
still
yeah.
don't want the optical drive. I don't want it. I don't watch
It's
DVDs.
fair enough. Honestly, I'll jump on that bandwagon specifically words, specifically to give me more of a chance to like see whether I want like you know what I mean, just give me more time to like build up the money to actually get it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Maybe use that time to get a 4K monitor finally.
true.
Be nice, you know,
Yeah,
and then go ahead and get it when it comes out discless. Because that was my one of my biggest concerns. I'm like, if my Xbox can play most of the games that the new one's gonna come out with, you know, what I mean, it's not gonna be limiting. Like, if there are new titles coming out and I can still play it on my Xbox,
yeah.
do I want to get a? Give me a second. Do I want to go out of my way and get a new one? You know, it's usually
Yeah. I
always a question I have.
because it's my understanding that new titles that come out after this console, um, they're just gonna be made according to like PC standards, I guess. You just code it differently
Mm.
because it's going to Xbox. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so when we buy like uh Titanfall 3 for the Xbox
Mm-hmm.
One, it's just going to be a downgrade, like downscaling. I mean, instead of
To
its normal
the Xbox
resolution.
that we
Yeah.
currently. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then when
But I
we
like the
do upgrade,
direction.
we could just
But
play it how it's supposed to be made.
yeah, yeah. I am looking like the one thing I'm worried about is usually the closer that Xbox gets to like PCs, I feel like the more like hackers that they're probably going to have to deal with at the same time. There's gonna be a lot of people out there trying to find exploits like data mining through the Xbox files. Because I mean, PCs already
Um,
have a crap ton of issues with
yeah.
hackers in general. I mean, like, what kind of do they have? I'm hoping that they have enough safety measures for that.
I'm pretty sure
You know what I mean?
Microsoft does. Like it's
Yeah.
Microsoft at the same time. But
I mean, they got hacked a
it's
couple of
this
times,
it's the
so
same reason why PlayStation didn't want to do cross platform or cross play stuff is because we
yeah,
worry
yeah.
about the PC hackers. I don't think Xbox is worried about that anymore. Like if they get hacked, like if what was the hacker group that was always taking down PlayStation?
Gecko,
Gecko. Like
Gecko
if
Squad.
like if Gecko decided it wants to oh Xbox is more like a PC now. This is going to be easy.
Right,
It's
right,
like
right, right.
just like how PlayStation had to deal with it for like a week straight, and then it servers finally came back online because they finally figured that crap out. It might be
Hmm.
the same. I'm not going to be tripping over it either way. It's just the you know just the way world goes, I guess. You
Yeah,
gotta deal
yeah,
with it
yeah.
sometimes. And
I
I'm
mean,
pretty
there's
sure,
assholes out there.
and I'm
There's
pretty
really
sure
no.
somebody's tried to hack the Xbox before. It's just I'm thinking the Microsoft like safety net is just too strong for them to hack through.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just as time goes on, man. There's always something you leave out. Because we're humans, we're not perfect,
Hmm.
right? We perfect shit over time, and over that time of perfecting shit, there's gonna be some guy that's gonna be like, "Hey, what happens if I push four like X's and spaces here, and then plug it into my computer, and then like exploit?" you know,
Right.
it's just you can't prepare for everything. There's some shit that's gonna rock the boat eventually, you know. So it's kind of what I'm worried about. And whenever you release something out to the public, there's just a bunch of people out there. So like, how can we break this? 'Cause you remember we played with somebody on Xbox, right? He's like,
Hmm.
every time we get on the Xbox, do we play with him? He'll be like, "Hey, I broke the game again."
Yeah, there's this new glitch. You want to see? I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Right. He's like, I don't really care about the glitches, man. I just want to play the game.
It's like I don't care all that much, you know. I'm just I'm just trying to grind out these little PvP stuff, and then I'm gonna be out.
Right, right. Unless the exploits another loot cave in Destiny, then no, bro.
But
God, I love the loot cave. But yeah, man.
it's weird that PlayStation hasn't come out with their design yet. I kind of want to see it. I want to see it and laugh at it, just like I laughed at the Xbox One.
Yeah.
I was like,
you
oh
know,
my god.
what if like just playing with the idea here? What if the Xbox was so progressive that the PlayStation people at PlayStation were like, oh shit, yeah, we got to go back to the drawing board real quick, guys. We
Yo,
got to
I've
rewrite
been
everything.
wanting that to happen for the past couple of years, ever since like the 360 and the 3 were coming out at the
Yeah,
same time. I said I want somebody's design and their specs to be so amazing that the other
yeah.
ones like, okay, we're gonna push back our console launch date for another year. And I'm gonna be like, oh snap, that means it's not good, and it's gonna be hot trash when it comes out too.
Right? Because like the Xbox at this point is basically just building a PC. What if the PlayStation was all like, all right, we're just gonna push out another console as usual, same architect, nothing too different, better graphics. And they're like,
that'll
oh
that'll probably
shit,
hurt them in the long
that
run.
would. So they would have to hold back, man. They'd be
Yeah,
like, oh shit,
it's like
okay, we gotta. I
it's
think at
just
this
like
point,
how. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I would say at this point, it'd be better off if they even just pushed out a prototype that was similar specs to the Xbox with the big old power brick or some like whack stuff that didn't come with the previous PlayStation. Like, what is this?
Yeah. I
just
was
just to stay in the game.
I was
I
just
mean,
thinking it's like the same thing that Canon goes through. Like Canon makes good camera, or they could make like one of the best cameras in the world, but they're
mm-hmm,
so afraid to if they made that great camera that nobody
mm-hmm.
is going to buy any of their other cameras. And it's like if people
Swag.
it's like I was like, one, your library is way too freaking huge in the first place, and your naming
Right,
of crap is confusing. Like I was looking at
right.
Canon cameras yesterday,
Mm-hmm,
and there's this mirrorless Canon M6, the Canon M5, and there's an M50 and an M100. And I had to,
M100.
as me looking through the specs of everything, the M100 was the like beginner level point and shoot type of camera.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you would think by the name the M50, that's supposed to be a step below that, but the M100 is below the M50.
The M100 is below the what 150
M50, like
M50.
the letter
That
M50.
that makes no goddamn sense. You would
And
think the
then
M50 would be like lower, and the M100 would be like the next.
and then there's the M5.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a better camera than the M6, but it all depends on which version of which you get. So there's like the M6 Mark II, and the
Oh my
M5 Mark
god.
III or something like that. It's like,
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
like
Oh
I
my
don't
god.
like Canon's naming of stuff, and then they have their DSLRs, and then they have their cinema cameras too.
Hmm.
Um, well, they only have one cine camera, and it's the 1DX, right?
Hmm.
Um, and it takes horrible pictures, in my opinion. It's good pictures, but the resolution for them isn't like quite there. When you can get a 5D Mark IV, like the 1DX is the most expensive Canon camera you can get, right?
Hmm.
But one of the most expensive. But the Canon 5D Mark IV has a better megapixel range and can shoot 4K just as good as the 1DX.
Oh my
So
god.
why would I ever get the 1DX when I could just get the 5D Mark IV? And then the Canon 6D. 6 is better than 5, and so math and elementary school taught me the 6D is like crap compared to the 5D.
Oh my god.
Like
This actually makes no sense.
Canon screws themselves up so much on their their com- like freaking graduation list of cameras
Yeah, yeah.
when Nikon has, oh, you want something better than the 750, the D750, buy the D850. You want something better
Oh
than
my
that,
god.
get the D900 or something like.
That makes so much more. That makes more sense. Progressive, right?
It's
Just
like,
like
oh
this year was 2019, next year is 2020,
yeah,
2021, 2022. You
like
would think like the namings would be like scale up with the release date that they came out, and it makes
yeah.
no fucking sense that I gotta be scrolling through like pages and pages on web pages to decide. Okay, I decided I want to get this camera, but what the hell is this camera with a similar name but a lower number? Is that
Yeah,
better
and
or like is
and then
that
like Canon like is trying to step into the mirrorless market, so they naming all their mirrorless cameras something completely different. So any camera with,
why?
yeah, like the M series
EOS, right?
cameras that I was telling you about, the Canon
Yeah.
M5, M6, M50, M100, all mirrorless cameras. But they also have
Why?
another one called the EOS R.
Yeah, that's the one. I would think that every single mirrorless camera would have like something of that name in there, right? The EOS, you know what I
Well,
mean, or
the
something
Canon
like that. Why would the
all
why
of
would you?
Canon's cameras have EOS, all of them. Like Canon, the
Mm,
1DX is Canon EOS 1DX. The 70D or the 60D is Canon EOS 60D. They all have
and at least put the
EOS.
R. At least put the R in all of the mirrorless cameras. At
Or
least,
just put Canon M. This is your
right?
mirrorless one.
I mean, if they want to come up with crazy names for them, I'm like, I'm all for it. But at least some consistency between them. You know what I mean? How are people supposed to know what they need to buy? You know what I mean? What's gonna happen is people gonna buy it, maybe they're hoping people will buy it and be like, "Oh, this wasn't the one I wanted. Well, my pockets are fat anyways, so I'll just go and get the
Mhm.
other one I wanted and keep this one as a backup." Is that what they're hoping for?
I think, and then they come with cameras out like almost every year, I believe, because they
Yeah.
progress so much in a run of a year. Um,
Mm,
sometimes like
mm.
the 5D Mark II, I think, didn't get an upgrade
Mm.
until like 5 years later, and then they came out with the three.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I think that's
uh,
what my roommate has, the Mark II.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
but I think what it is, they want people to buy in on this technology. It's like this
Mm.
is our best camera yet. Like it shoots 26 megapixels, and then Nikon comes out with something following in the following months, because like they have the technology to make it. Nikon would come out, or Sony or Fujifilm would come out with a camera that is very comparable to the 5D, that
Mm-hmm.
does with modern technology built inside of it, and shoots like 60 megapixels for like a still in 4K, or 1080 at 120 p, 4K at
Yeah, yeah.
60p, right? And it's like this camera came out like a few months after you. Are you telling me y'all had the technology to make that kind of camera and y'all just didn't? And then they come out with the Mark IV, and it doesn't
Maybe
even
they're
have
like
that.
trying to sit on the tech.
It doesn't even have
Maybe
the
they're trying to
most
sit on the
updated
tech.
tech.
Yeah, I think they're trying to sit on the tech to just kind of like, all right, I think they're falling off our train a little bit. Let's put something out that's a little better,
Yeah.
even though we can make something that's like twice as good, but we're
They
gonna
can
make something
make
that's
the
just
best
a little
camera,
better than
but
what
they
we have.
won't. And I feel like it's the same with like Nikon, Sony, Fuji. Like they all can make like a good camera,
Yeah,
but
'cause, when you think about it, like when these companies make cameras, right?
Mhm.
People tend to have like the one camera for a very long time unless something happens to it. You know what I mean?
it's
Even then, there's
yeah,
warranty
it's a very
sometimes.
smart business move. Like, why come out with your 100% product
Yeah,
and have nobody buy any other product after that?
you can like just
It's
slow
just
drip them out.
basically. I mean, it's a very good
Just slow
business
drip them.
model. Just it's a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
good business model because it keeps people to come back to you. Same thing with
Yeah.
any other company.
Still
If
kind of
you,
shitty.
it is. I mean, they're a company. They're not the consumer, so they don't care.
Yeah. Nah,
But
they're gonna care when somebody lights a flame on their ass. So it just takes one smart motherfucker who can do something about it to notice it. It's like, oh, okay,
there's
y'all really about the
I
shits, huh?
forgot the name of it. There's a camera out right now. I think it's called the
Mm-hmm.
Hasselblad. It's like
Hasselblad.
this.
I thought you were
It's
gonna say
like
Black Magic.
no, the Black Magic gets shit on by this camera.
Oh, well, oh, it can't be better than the red cameras though. Reds are like out of my
I
pay
haven't.
grade.
Well, those are for one. The Black Magic and the
Profession.
Reds are for video, not for pictures.
Okay.
Um,
That's usually what I'm mostly concerned about. I think I must. I'm coming into terms into what like I want in the near future, and
hmm
I think I want a camera for video. You know what I mean? When
hmm
am I gonna actually make the plan to start trying to buy me a camera? I have no goddamn idea.
Well, the
But
thing, it like when it comes to
yeah,
camera, like purchasing a camera anyway, you want it for video.
mhm. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Are you really going to make content with the camera, or are you going to
Oh
just
yeah,
take
yeah, yeah.
pictures with it? I mean, it's like one of those situations where like the Black Magic does really good on video. It does really well on
Hmm.
video. It just kind of sucks with pictures because it's not meant
Hmm.
for it. I think it does
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't even think it has an option to take a picture. You could take stills from your video, and that still is like um 13 megapixels.
13.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
we talking about cameras that's got 28.
We talking about cameras that have 100 megapixels, which I forgot to mention. One of the Hasselblads has 100 megapixel range. The one I'm
God
looking at
damn.
right now, it has 50 megapixels, but there's one that has like 100.
I'm out here looking up camera now. Hasselblad
I can
camera.
send you a link to all the cameras I'm looking at right now for Hasselblad. There you
Oh,
go.
it's like Blad though. Okay, Hasselblad. Okay, okay,
Blad,
okay,
whatever.
okay. Oh wow, they're the same people who made that freaking that mod that went on to the freaking Moto phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the on B on BH it's $47,000 for
Yeesh.
100 megapixel camera,
Oh my god.
and it's
Oh
way
my
bigger
god.
than the normal full frame sensor, but it's technically a full
Hey,
frame camera.
it's
Um,
cheaper than the fucking red. I'll give it that.
was it
Definitely out of my price range though, to be
it
honest.
shoots
Yeah, it's the
4K
same
at
company.
25 and HD
Yeah,
at 25. So it's not really perfect for video, but
yeah,
it shoots really good video all the same, and
yeah,
it
yeah,
and it shoots the best photos.
yeah.
100
I think it's a weird
megapixels.
thing where you usually have to. I'm noticing that you have to lean in on one side with a lot of these cameras. You know what I mean? I'm
Hmm.
maybe mirrorless cameras do a little better, but I don't know. It's you either like get one that's like, yeah, this is for photos, or you get one that no, this is for like video, capturing gorgeous,
I
beautiful
was gonna
video and
say
whatnot.
it is not cheaper than the red.
What the Reds are like? Last time I checked, the Reds are like at $40,000. How much
I
did you
mean,
say the freaking Hasselblad was?
that was what 50,000. I'm looking at a red for 30.
How much did you say the Hasselblad one?
Let me go back to it.
About
It was 47 something. It was
47.
47,995. For the one I was talking about in particular, that's 100 megapixels. Now the red camera that I just typed in red on B&H, and the
Yeah,
red Ranger is $30,000,
thirty
and it shoots
thousand
8K.
dollars.
Yep.
Okay, okay. That's not bad. I'm actually looking up. There's like a sexy one here. It's a 50C, the X1D 50C, mirrorless medium, 5,750. It looks sexy.
Mhm.
It looks sexy.
The X1D
And then
or
there's
the
like camera
1DX?
specs. You said what?
Is it you
And,
said
Uh,
X1D or is it 1DX?
X1D it says.
By who?
Hasselblad.
Oh, okay, by House of Black. Okay.
I don't know. I can't say Blad. Well, I guess Blad makes sense. I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
saying bald.
I was
The
saying
X1D
Hasselbad because I
50C.
didn't know there was an L after the B. So now that I know there's an L, I'm like, oh, okay, Blad.
Right. Because I googled it as like bad and like worst camera I've ever had. I'm like, oh, it can't be the one he's talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Worst camera you ever had. It's like you can afford it. You crazy.
Yeah, but it looks these cameras look like super sexy. I love like the kind of like the gunmetal color
Hmm.
to some of these cameras. If I could afford one, I would definitely have one in my pocket.
It's a
You know,
$5,000 camera for what
but it's
50
sexy.
megapixels.
Yeah, but they
Um,
sexy though. They real sexy. You know what
I gotta see the
I
I
mean?
mean, it's full
Hasselblad.
frame,
Yeah,
so that's always a
mirrorless.
plus. It's always a
Yeah.
plus when it's full frame. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. It makes sense. You don't come out with the best product ever, right?
Hmm.
Because if you're like this company, and granted,
Or if they do,
that 50,000 that $48,000 camera isn't the best camera out there because it doesn't do really good video. Because one,
yeah.
you do have to sacrifice in a camera body, and if you want the camera body to be a small enough form factor so people can carry, and they don't
Hmm.
have to have it on a
Hmm.
tripod or a gimbal all the time. You have to
Yeah,
sacrifice
yeah.
one or the other. You can't put it all into one. But even then, if I could, for that camera, if it was going to do was it 4K?
Yeah.
Uh, it should have been able to do uh At 50,000, I would expect to do 8K. 8K at 24, 4K at 60, 1080 at 120.
Yeah,
I would expect that.
yeah.
And then I don't care about the megapixels being at 100. You could put that at like 60 or 70.
But they have to like come up with these crazy numbers on the end
Yeah.
just to like pull you in. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa,
And
my little
that's
camera got 28. You trying to tell me this shit got 100?
yeah.
That's my next camera. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people who don't know like the specifics of a camera, right? And I'll be the one that would be fooled. I'm like, 100 megapixels. But somebody who uses the camera would be like, yeah, that's dope and all, but they're only gonna be usable in these specific situations. You know what I mean? So it probably doesn't make sense for you to get
I
100
think it's
megapixels.
also aesthetic, right? I don't know
Yeah,
if you ever seen pictures of like cameras shot with like 60 megapixels. I've seen them and I kind of hate them. they
60 megapixels.
yeah,
I haven't seen any.
they look unnatural, but
Way too detailed.
it's way too detailed. It's way too detailed. And I was looking up, you know how the conversation always comes up
Yeah,
with we can't like you have it with anybody off the street. It's like our eyes can't even comprehend 120 frames per second anyway or something like that. Or
right,
past
right,
60
right.
is like that's normal, the normal thing.
Man, that's such
Uh
a confusing topic to have, man. I want to just sit down and try to understand it one day. Sometimes it takes a while for my brain to understand something,
I
and
I
like
looked it
it
up.
works. It works in video games,
Yeah.
right? Because nothing in video game is technically real in general. So like we will be able to see the difference between like
Yeah.
60 frames and 120 in there. But in
Yeah.
like real life, that's when things get
I
like
Yeah, I remember understanding it this way because I looked it up more recently, and
yeah, yeah,
our eyes can perceive it. Um, I think at least 120 frames. I don't know if it goes
yeah.
higher than that, but our eyes can perceive it. Um, but we can't tap into it. It's just like always having a I forget what the feature is, but it's like having a cinematic style on our eyelids all the time. But our eyes can perceive the increased frame rate. We just can't produce it ourselves.
Oh, we don't even like produce it
Not
ourselves.
I mean, I'm trying to make it so it sounds like you can understand it. I don't know how to say it any worse or better. It's just we're always in 24 frames. Always.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is like the natural motion blur that our eyes
So we can
see
tell
in, but we can perceive it.
for
We
about
just can't.
120.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
it's going into the definition of what perceiving and what is using is.
All right. Here's my question for you. Here's my
Yeah,
question for you. Right? Do you think over the span of the next couple of generations
no.
will we evolve? No, 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 no. Hey, stay with me. Will human beings evolve to where we don't see in 24 frames a second?
No,
You know what I mean? To where now we can see in 200 frames.
no.
Wouldn't that be nuts?
I would just tell you. I would just tell you no.
It, we evolve over time, bro.
We
I think we will.
evolve over time. Correct,
I think so. I think
but
so.
it's not. I would tell you one thing. It's not going to
Mm.
be a weird physiological feat as in seeing 200 frames per second. Um, and then
I
it won't
think
even
it's gonna be
happen
something that we need.
it'll be something completely like we need tails again, so we grew back tails. It's going to be something like that.
Bruh, I believe in seeing in 200 frames per second faster than I believe in tails.
No, it's all day. It's going. I tails would be before a
Because
freaking
you gotta think about. All right, put it. You gotta think about of like I think the things that we evolve as human beings to get are things that we use on a general basis. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
but
So
we
we
don't.
kind of train ourselves to be better at that task, and over time we
If
might even get like bodily
if
functions that evolve.
the only thing our eyes might evolve to is having a wider aperture.
A wider aperture.
Yeah, or a smaller aperture, I should say, so we can see in the dark, and blue
It's
screens
gonna be
won't
faster.
hurt us. We won't
I
need
think it'll be
shutter
faster.
speed. It would
I
not
think
be shutter speed.
I feel like being able to see more frames a second might be one of them
That
because
is not going to be useful to us at all.
faster reaction times. Faster reaction times. If you can see
That's
more
that
frames,
that
you get
that
more
has nothing to do
information
with our eyes though.
faster.
That has that all that has to do with is communication between our brain and our central nervous system. That has nothing to do with our eyes.
Well, we gotta perceive the information fast and move fast, man.
Our brain is already perceiving the information. Our body isn't.
Our eyes aren't capable of seeing that much frames, so you know what
Which
I
is why
mean.
it's like at 120. That's why I was saying at 120 frames per second, our eyes perceive it already, and
Okay.
our brain is like, it's like the image that we're seeing is already being reflected onto our brain back to us to where we can see it upright, right?
Upside
Um,
down, by the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Like you said.
Uh, so what we do with that information in our head has to then be communicated to the rest of our body to act. So
Yeah, yeah.
if anything, the evolution I see with our eyes is that we'll be able to see in the dark better,
I think that'll
and
come first.
yeah, that'll
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
come first, and then probably reaction time, like the communication,
Bruh,
and then communication between our brain and our body is already pretty fast.
bruh.
But
I
even
think,
faster will be cool.
bruh. I think
Like
we're gonna have like a bet, and then we're gonna be long gone and dead in the
uh,
afterlife, and I'll be willing to cash in on
we're gonna
that
be so
bet.
long. I don't even know if the Earth is gonna survive that long. Like the rate at which humans evolve is so slow.
Like to be
Like it
honest with
is
you,
so slow.
I think the fastest way for us to evolve right now is just technologically. You know what I mean? So I feel
Maybe,
like I'm
but
gonna
then we're
win
not
that
even.
bet sooner than you think
But
because
that's not
somebody's
even.
gonna have
Then
implants
we're
put
going to
in.
get into semantics of natural evolution and not you. We were talking about at least I assume we were talking about natural evolution.
I
That's
don't
not
give a damn what
natural.
kind of evolution. I don't give a
It's
damn
like
what kind of
I
evolution.
don't care what kind of
Evolution
evolution.
is
I just
evolution,
want to be
brother.
right. But even then, even if it's unnatural evolution, nobody
What's
is
up?
going to want higher shutter speed for their eyes.
I want it all in a one package. Canon
You
is gonna
know
be
what's
the
going to
company
happen
that's like,
first? If
what's up?
like for an unnatural evolution,
Mm-hmm.
the person is probably going to get something muscle related. I
Muscle related.
imagining like so that
No,
they're
here
like
I'm
bionics.
thinking
It's
about how
just
it's.
like I could jump
Here's how I think
higher,
it's
I
gonna
could
start.
run faster and stuff like that. It's going to be muscle related all day.
Because when you think about it, right? Yeah, it would be dope to be muscle related, but then like people who would want that are probably competitive in sports and whatnot. So they're probably on like I don't know the Magic's basketball team or some long jumping team, right? They're probably gonna be like regular. Hey man, you can get those little enhanced features
Hmm.
out of our game. We want flesh and blood in on this. I think where it's first going to start at is for like people who lost their eyes or people who lost their arms and
I
stuff
mean,
like that. I feel that's where it's first gonna start out. We already see it now.
yeah.
I'm imagining some guy getting like a pair of eyeballs implanted in their eyes, and it's got they can see in 4K, 200 frames per second.
I mean, eye transplant is a
Yeah,
thing now, but
yeah,
a
yeah,
bionic eye, I'm not sure. If anything, it'll probably be an arm or a leg first.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we already got the arms and legs going. I'm just,
I'm
I'm looking for the future of those things
yeah,
to where
I'm
they're like so cool that people want to get rid of their human ones.
well,
They
that's
like
what I
go
was
get the
saying.
new.
It'll be
Yeah,
that's what I was looking at, and you told me no, it's going to be an eye. You
because
talking
I
about
think it's gonna
only
be stuff that
sports,
people
only
lost.
athletic people are going to do that? No,
Like,
It's
because
so
I'm
far in the
starting to think.
future. If we're talking about so
But
far in the future, and you have the
yeah, yeah.
choice to be like, "Hey, you want to be normal or do you want to be fast?" And I'm gonna be like, "Fast? What kind of dumbass question is
Of
that?"
course.
Like,
Like,
that's what I'm thinking.
I get what you're
The
saying.
same
I
way
get what
you're
you're saying. But I'm talking
thinking,
about
you want
yeah,
normal eyes or do you want fast eyes or 4K eyes? I was like, 4K eyes?
4K.
What you dumb? Is you dumb? Is you stupid?
What kind of goddamn question is that? There's a chance that this might burn the little passageway that goes to your brain from your eyeballs. We still testing it. I want fast eyes. 8K fast eyes.
I wonder. Are we gonna keep going past 8K? Is there anything past 8K right now?
I don't want to say no.
Yeah, I don't want to say no either. Is because they always
Yeah,
8K is a higher resolution. I don't see anything.
because I've heard somebody talk about it, and they're like,
There's
"Hey, I know like
16K.
8K might be the top of shit, but why not just add more Ks onto that if it's not gonna hurt anything?" Like, you know what? Why not? It's in 24K. It's like, yeah, bruh, like, no.
Okay,
I
so
can see the dust.
I guess 16K is a thing. And
Uh,
I could have sworn I heard that before, but I wasn't sure.
I think I might have heard something about 16K, but at this point, like, I'm
Yeah.
still trying to wrap my head around 2K.
I'm
14.
it's like I'm trying to wrap my head around 2K. Hell, I need a 4K monitor. Was it? I just realized, like, for the longest time as we had 4K on YouTube, I remember like on my old laptop years ago of trying to load a video in 4K, and it just crashes the site, or it just crashes my computer because my computer can't handle it. I finally have a
Yeah.
laptop that I can watch YouTube in 4K.
I mean,
But the screen is a 1080p resolution, so it doesn't matter anyway. But
right?
I
That's
can
the
watch a
situation we're
4K.
into.
I can watch a 4K video now.
You know, yeah, I've seen like the difference between 4K. It's like pretty stunning, right? But at the
Yeah,
same time, kind of
it's
like,
alright. It's nothing to brag
it's
about,
kind of
but it's
why
alright.
I wasn't all hyped about like the Xbox X. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Xbox One X. I was like, that's cool and all, but you know what I mean? After I buy that expensive ass console, I ain't gonna have nothing left in the pocket to buy a 4K TV.
And you need to go on Black Friday deals because Walmart was giving away 4K TVs like it wasn't nothing.
But my dude, I was so broke this Black Friday. I was like, you
Bruh,
know
you
what?
do not know
Let's
how
just stay
cheap
off
it
YouTube.
was.
But how cheap? Yeah, how cheap,
100,
my dude?
100.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I
But
was
was it
looking at
like the good brands though, or
no,
was it
of
like
course not.
house?
It was like I don't know. It wasn't Insignia, but it was like a Roku. It was a Roku TV. It was like
Yeah.
47 inches. It was 4K, and I was like, $100, $100, and I was like, I ain't got time to be
Hold
fighting
up.
people over no TV.
Yeah, that's you gotta get ready, man. You go grab your little rubber katanas, man, and put them in your put them in their
Rubber
holsters
katanas.
and
I'm
be ready
stabbing
for
people for
Black
real. I ain't even no rubber. That low guys on rubber.
I can't go up in there, man, and fight people for a goddamn TV, man. I feel like, oh god, I can't even do it. I know Christmas right around the corner, but you know what? I'll just save up. I'll pony up on a different day. I'll wait for Cyber Monday.
Oh, I be planning
Probably won't
everything
be
around
as
Cyber
cheap.
Monday. But
You said what?
what's cool, I be planning everything around Cyber Monday. But
Yeah,
what's cool
you
now
ain't
is
gotta,
that
you ain't gotta fight nobody.
some online stores have deals from Thursday leading into Monday, so it's always a sale anyway.
Oh yeah,
And so are some of the retail stores do that. I think Walmart does that. They start on Thursday night.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, Best Buy does theirs Thursday morning, and then Target does some stuff too. I don't know what they're
I don't
but
wanna. Yeah,
they
I'd
do it
rather
so
just
that
do it
it's
all
not a
online,
big.
man.
Yeah, I'd
I
rather go
do feel
online too.
like you won't get it as cheap though, doing it online. I just have that stigma. It's just
Mm.
something that's bugging me in the back of my head. I'm like, if you
Even
go
if
into
it's
the
the
store,
same
it's probably gonna be cheaper.
percent off.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, bro. Is there something in my head? So like, I feel like if I have to go to the store and I gotta fight people for this TV, it's gonna be like $5 cheaper.
That being said, the 4K monitor
Yeah,
that they were, or the 4K TV that they were selling, it probably wasn't like no huge hertz on it. It was probably like 60 hertz. 4K
yeah,
60.
yeah. I need,
Which is
I
probably
need
why it was so cheap. That, and it was a brand nobody knew about.
right. Like house,
It's like, I
Westinghouse or
mean, a
something like
TV is a TV. You know what I'm saying? If it got 4K, it got 4K.
that. The thing is, a lot of the
If
times
you
these
want more hertz
TVs,
past that, get that TV then.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the times, like those specific TVs, they go out faster than it would like a Vizio or a
How y'all
Samsung or
treating
an
y'all
Asus.
TV?
Huh?
How y'all
I
treating
mean,
y'all TV?
it
Because
doesn't. It
I
doesn't
have.
necessarily mean that, bro. It just
I
means you
mean,
buy the TV and one day you look at it and there's a dead pixel.
I
You know?
mean, that's another thing. Most people can't tell when there's a dead pixel on your goddamn shit anyway.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
has to
yeah.
tell you. Somebody else has to tell you that's like something wrong with your TV because you wouldn't notice it. But
You're looking at it every fucking day, bro.
you
So
look,
it's like kind of
you
like
would
going nose
think,
blind or eye
but
blind to it.
but
Yeah,
it's like I have an Insignia. I bought this
yeah.
Insignia when we were living in Tallahassee. It's been years.
It's still kicking.
It's been kicking for the longest. And my TV that I had in my room before I moved out to Tallahassee is still working. And it's
Oh
a tube
shit!
TV. So that's why I'm
You know
like,
what
why?
happened? You know what happened to mine? I had a little Vizio. You remember that little Vizio I had?
Yeah, paid
Yeah,
too
I
much for.
spilled I spilled like coffee on it, and then now it won't turn on, and I'm mad about it.
Cause I
God, I'm so
when I
mad
when I
about
bought
it.
my TV, I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm going to Best Buy. I need a TV. It has to be. Uh, I don't even know the dimensions of this anymore. I'm pretty sure it's 24 inches. I got a small TV because I'm like, I like small TVs. I don't need anything bigger than this.
Right, 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 right.
But I need 24 inches and it has to have 1080. That's all I cared about. I was like, what's the cheapest one? 120. Got it.
No, okay, okay, okay.
At the time, now I'm gonna be like 120 for that crap. No. But at the
I mean,
time,
as time goes by, you try to get the best for your money at a time. I
yeah,
don't think I paid too much for this one. Mine was probably like around 150,
yeah,
if not maybe 200, maybe.
yeah. I see
But
a
I
lot
don't
of
think I paid
like
that much
really really
for
like
10.
cheap TVs for like or like yeah, really cool TVs for like mad cheap, and I'm like, oh, where were you like 5 years ago?
Right. It's technology progressive, man. You just
Yeah,
start seeing them just sitting around in the market. You just gotta look for
yeah,
them, man.
yeah.
Gotta look for them. You know,
Shoot,
I've
I
seen
ain't
a
even
couple of
looking.
right. I've seen people making like reviews on some Chinese TVs, matter of fact, that are like they'd be like 60 frames, 4K. I'm like, what? Or like they'd be like 120 frame 4K. I'm like, how? This is probably $800. I look
Mhm.
at it and they're like, yo, nah, it's actually just like 300. I'm like, what?
It's like what? It's
You
like
trying to tell me the
probably gonna break
Chinese
after two
got it
weeks.
like that? Oh man, yeah, man. It's crazy how like technology evolves and like the older stuff kind of gets like thrown
Yeah,
out there. It's like, it's pretty dope. I
yeah,
like it.
yeah, yeah. So we got 2 minutes left in this podcast.
Oh,
So I'm a bring this question up
yeah,
and
yeah.
see where it goes after that. Um, did you watch the new Star Wars movie?
No, no, I did not. I did
Do
not.
you care about spoilers?
Nah, 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 nah.
Okay,
Not too
because
much.
I'm gonna see if I can have like a spoiler free like about 5 minutes at the least
5 minutes
after this
spoiler free.
podcast. So
Okay.
I'm gonna end this podcast right here for anybody that doesn't want to be spoiled by the new Star Wars movie, Rise of
Yeah, I don't
Skywalker.
want to be spoiled.
If y'all don't want to be spoiled, uh, I love you. Come back, listen to this, and we'll see you when we see you, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Um,
a bit of hold up. I'm gonna take this little moment to
Go ahead.
talk to people who are like me out there. All right, so because on top of this being Christmas, this is also like the last podcast of the year, I believe, right?
I think, I
Yeah,
think so.
last podcast of the week of the year.
No, no,
All
no.
right,
We
so
got one more on the 29th.
on the 29th.
Yeah.
All right, we'll save the talk for the 29th. We'll save it for the 29th. We'll save it for the 29th.
All
Last podcast of the year. Bit of a inspirational jump for anybody out there.
right. All right. So this is where the spoilers are going to happen. If you don't want to hear it, we'll see you next time. Come back and listen to it if you want to hear about the spoilers. And Slate. Now.
Bye.